separate bedroom, living area, and bathroom. I'd left the bedroom and turned left to enter the bathroom. There was a small night light which gave me plenty of light in my unfamiliar surroundings. As I turned to enter the bathroom, I saw a man in the room. He was a little over 6 feet tall and weighed about 230 pounds. He was pretty grim looking, and I instinctively knew this guy was going to be trouble. The first thing I did was try to keep myself from dying from a heart attack, but instantly I realized I would not have to worry about too much with this guy because the guy was me in a full-length mirror. And here's the part where you may need to turn down the volume and call for counseling. I was in my underwear. Try not to let that register. In fact, that's what tipped me off in the first place. I thought, now who wears Popeye underoos at that guy's age? This particular story has nothing to do with politics. It's just a story about an embarrassing event that happened to me in the Zumwalt zone.
All right, the wisdom of John Zumwalt there, and of course we'll get that corrected for the rest of the day so the right one plays. All right, 7:30 past the hour. Let's go through our audio bites this morning. First of all, it's time to start your Wednesday. Well, that's not what I want. That's the old one. All right, here we go. Easter is this Sunday, but it's also April Fool's Day at the same time. Here are some tips for combining them to help you out.
This Sunday is Easter and April Fool's Day. It's both. Here are some tips to make your Easter April Fools unforgettable. Do not hard-boil your Easter eggs. Toss one to Aunt Edna and let the hilarity begin. Tell your kids to hunt for eggs, but don't hide any. Let them loose in the backyard and see how long it takes for them to realize the eggs were never hidden in the first place. Chocolate dip vegetables. Snap a photo and catch the look on their faces when they bite into those chocolate-dipped carrots. Or better yet, tell them you woke up early and ate all the Easter candy. It's Easter. It's April Fools. It's both. Brought to you by crying kids who take candy seriously and won't ever trust you again.
Dang. From our stupid news, let's see. Steve Loft used to be a clown for Ringling Brothers. Now he's running for Congress in South Carolina. Here's a little message that he posted up. Bear in mind, he's juggling and humming circus music here.
Hi, I'm Steve Lowe from Camden, South Carolina, and I'm running to represent South Carolina's 5th District, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, in Congress. Watch, here we go. And you, boom. Remember to vote for me in the June 12th Democratic primary. See you later.
Okay, learned a lot about the positions in that commercial. And some guy, you knew it would happen, who's probably very lonely sometimes. Some guy designed and built his own 3D printer. And just for fun, he programmed it to play music too. Here he is doing Beethoven's For Elsie, which is pronounced sort of like fewer and Elsa, I guess. Anyway, here's the 3D printer. I think that if I had a printer like that, it and my baseball bat would have to meet. I couldn't take much of that. Believe it or not, Ernie is going to be ticked off on this one. According to a new study by the University of Illinois, wasting your hard-earned tax money, and the Swiss Federal Institute of Aquatic Science and Technology, they come out with what I call duh results. You know, they spend a lot of money to tell you something you could figure out yourself in, say, a millisecond. And that is that your child's rubber ducky is a cesspool of dangerous bacteria. Researchers found that when they cut open rubber duckies, almost all of them had murky water inside filled with fungus and bacteria. And the bacteria in about 80% of them were bad enough to get someone sick. So what should you do? The researchers say you should either buy more expensive rubber duckies that are made from higher quality polymers or throw out the rubber ducks your kids play with on a regular basis and swap them for new ones, believe it or not.
Oh, rubber ducky, you're the one. You make bath time lots of fun. Rubber ducky, I'm awfully fond of you. Bo-bo-bo-dee-o, rubber ducky, joy of joys. When I squeeze you, you make noise. Rubber ducky, you're my very best friend, it's true. Oh, every day when I make my way to the tubby, I find a little fella who's cute and yellow and chubby. Rub-a-dub-dubby, rubber ducky, you're so fine. And I'm lucky that you're mine. Rubber ducky, I'm awfully fond of you.
Sad thing is, a lot of you out there know the words to that. Yeah, I remember it was a Sesame Street. I came along during the Captain Kangaroo days. I would probably know the words to those songs. Ronda Rousey did a couple of testing interviews on ESPN yesterday. If you don't know her, she's a mixed martial art individual who had an undefeated record till her last two fights in the ring, in which she got pretty much defeated in the first rounds. Things got awkward at this interview right away with Mike Golick, who asked if she would ever fight again. He asked if she'll ever go back into the UFC in the future.
Let's go back and start with when you knew from the MMA, when you were done there, when you knew in your mind, I'm not going to fight anymore.
I never said that.
Ah, so there is a possibility that you could go back in time?
There's a possibility that I could go back in time? That's your question to me?
Go back in time and fight. Go back in the octagon.
I do not have the ability to go back in time, no.
No. Would you fight again?
I don't know.
And then Rhonda was on such a roll yesterday. She went on First Take and called out Max Kellerman for being afraid to tell her she was overrated to her face.
You became such a big deal that when you lost, it's like the earth stopped spinning on its axis. After your loss in the UFC, there was a lot of talk, well, she was overrated, she was this, she was that, and my point of view was, at the time, and remains, that you achieved amazing heights. Almost no one wins forever. Everyone suffers setbacks, but there seemed to be like an unusual amount of negative pushback after your loss. Did you not experience that?
I experience a lot of people who quote some people that are really just afraid to state their own opinion.
Do you think it's my opinion? No, that's not my opinion. I can tell you right now, it's not my opinion. I thought you achieved amazing things. I was and remain a big fan of your fighting and of you. That's not me saying some people, meaning me. That is me saying I read and heard from others and defended you.
Well, thank you for defending me. I appreciate that.
When you knew in your mind, I'm not going to fight anymore.
I never said that.
So there is a possibility that you could go back in time?
There's a possibility that I could go back in time? That's your question to me?
Go back in time.
I don't mind, but you better promise me I'll be back in time.
I do not have the ability to go back in time, no.
Gotta get back in time.
Well, you know our production guys cannot resist that one. All right, well, ESPN did an in-game interview with the Red Sox outfielder Mookie Betts this week during a spring training game with the Cubs. They actually put a mic on him while he was out there playing. And then someone hit a ball over his head, and he had a reaction to that.
You didn't just drop the mic and walk off knowing that this is a strike and I'm done.
I wanted to, but because, yeah, I mean, it's etiquette, you know,
Right.
bowling etiquette. You can't.
Right. Uh-oh. There you go.
I ain't getting this one, boys.
Get on your horse.
That was the cutoff.
All right, citing ESPN, slow sports day, I guess. Well, y'all know which songs that you like to sing along to. And what about in the car? They have come out with a list. Let's see who put this list out. This study came out of the UK with the best sing-along car songs. The ones that come on the air and you just can't resist yourself. You have to sing along with them. I got the top 5 here, a little clip from each one. Here is number 5.
Don't stop believing. Hold on to that feeling. Street light people.
And, of course, Don't Stop Believing by Journey. The number 4 best sing-along car song is ABBA, Dancing Queen. At number 3 you have
Sweet Caroline. Good times never seem so good. Sweet Caroline. I believe they never.
Now, the number 3 best sing-along song is Neil Diamond's Sweet Caroline. At number 2, you have
Sisters, we gotta hold on to what we've got. It doesn't make a difference if we make it or not. We got each other, and that's a lot for love. We'll give it a shot. Oh, we're halfway there. Oh, give me all a prayer. Take my hand.
And that, of course, Bon Jovi singing on Living on a Prayer. And the number 1 best sing-along car song is
Didn't mean to make you cry. If I'm not back again this time tomorrow, carry on, as if nothing really matters.
Well, I call those all the top 5 flip songs. When I hear them, I'm gone. All right. Roseanne returned last night. Roseanne is back. Here's how the first episode of Roseanne Revival started last night. Roseanne thinks Dan is dead, but he's just sleeping. Then he can't get back to sleep, so they get frisky. It's an in joke because when the show originally ended, they found out Dan had been cheating on Roseanne after all. He died of a heart attack. And the whole scene was a story Roseanne Connor told about her family in which she changed certain details, like Dan's death. But then the new season, that was all part of a book Roseanne wrote. You got all that? Anyway, here's the opening scene.
Dan? Dan? Dan?
What happened?
I thought you were dead.
Sleeping.
Why does everybody else think I'm dead?
You looked happy. I thought maybe you moved on.
Oh, they're up. I know it's only been a week, but I just can't get used to Darlene and her kids living in the house. I got no privacy. I can't even make my Maxwell house naked like God intended.
Well, just because they're up doesn't mean we have to give up, pleasuring me.
I don't know if we got time for the full symphony of love, but I'm sure we can knock off a few of the greatest hits. Brace yourself, mother.
But the opening scene didn't explain why Dan was still alive, so they got into it a little later in the opening series here.
Well, looky here, written by Roseanne Connor.
Oh, trash that.
This would have sold like hotcakes if only you hadn't killed off the most interesting character. He was a gentle giant.
You know what really would have helped, though? More bondage and a wizard school.
Let's see. Also in this version of Roseanne Barr is a Trump supporter, so they made her a Trumper in the show also.
Hey, everybody. This is the first dinner together we've had as a family in a long time. Let's try to survive it.
Oh, yeah. First, let's say grace. Jackie, would you like to take a knee? Dear Lord, thank you for this food and for bringing our son DJ home safe from Syria. Please protect his wife Gina and all our troops still overseas. But most of all, Lord, thank you for making America great again.
Mom, no! It's okay, Darlene. How could you have voted for him, Roseanne?
He talked about jobs, Jackie. He said he'd shake things up. I mean, this might come as a complete shock to you, but we almost lost our house the way things are going.
Have you looked at the news? Because now things are worse.
Not on the real news.
Oh, police!
Hey, I might have to start watching this show. Let's see. Got two more here. We bored with it yet? Let me play the short one. Darlene's daughter got fresh in the first episode, and it was like a mini Darlene or a mini me.
I'll be back for dinner. Whoa, you didn't tell me you were going out. I need you to watch Mark. I've got a job interview today.
Come on, I made plans with my one potential friend.
I'm sorry, Harris, but I got
Tag me in. You're babysitting. Game over.
This is so unfair. You're ruining my life. You all suck.
I ain't seen that movie in 20 years. Classics really do hold up.
All right, that's a couple of clips there from Roseanne that aired last night. And I believe on Hulu you can go ahead and see the series. I'm not sure. Because I got Hulu and I went there last night and said the series, but the series, you might only get one episode of the series for right now until the second one airs. Probably how it works. Anyway, what was I going to say? Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what the ratings are for Roseanne because clearly it's leaning a little more conservative than most shows do these days. In fact, you can't find one. I don't know. Last Man Standing was lean right for the most part. Had a left side to it also. But it'll be interesting to see how this one goes. And if it is in the genre of Last Man Standing, you know, where it's a little heavily weighted and on the conservative side, how it does in the ratings against all the left shows that it's up against. Of course, you still have the late night snoots that look down their nose at America and Donald Trump and his administration and so forth and so on. The never Trumpers who can't get over the fact he won. Anyway, we always let you hear them, try to every day, let you hear a little taste of them so that they can show you their bias themselves. You know, if you don't think like they think, then they want you to change your way of thinking. They don't want you to have your freedoms. They want you to have their point of view. And one of the worst, of course, is Stephen Colbert, born that way, Stephen Colbert. And to be a little more snooty, he changed it to Colbert. And one of Trump's lawyers got into an argument on CNN with Stormy Daniels' lawyer over who was a thug before Colbert puts his 2 cents in.
Let's talk about Michael Cohen, what kind of man this is. This is a legal genius. Right. Completely false. The guy doesn't even know the law. He's a thug. Right. Your friend is a thug.
Well, thank you.
Is a thug.
That's $1 million.
No, that's
$1 million.
Thug.
$1 million.
Thug.
You know what?
Thug.
You're a thug. Anyone who would come on here.
Wait a second.
Anyone, you see, anyone.
Thug.
By the way.
He's a thug.
By the
And if
way,
he was
you
here, I'd tell him to
doctored. You
his
doctored.
Gentlemen, please, don't fight. You're both thugs. I guess they're just following the legal precedent as established in the landmark case, Shut Up v. No, You Shut Up.
And then, of course, the left was criticizing Donald Trump for not being tough on Russia, that he was in Vladimir's hip pocket. So he expelled 60 Russians, but as you know, with the left, nothing he does is good enough. This man could cure cancer today, and they would complain that it took him all day to do it. But we expelled Russian intelligence agents from the consulate in Seattle. Here's what Colbert had to say about that. Yeah, he was born Colbert. That's just what Colbert had to say about it.
The United States did expel 60 Russians over a UK poison attack. 60. Turns out all these Russians were identified as intelligence agents, and their expulsion has led to the closure of the Russian consulate in Seattle. There was a bunch of Russian spies in Seattle? How hard would it be to identify them? I'm from Seattle. I love Nirvanka, and I love their song, You Smell Like a Teenager.
Well, let's see, Colbert. They've been there for, 20, 30 years? Your president didn't do anything about it. Mine did. Yours didn't. And, of course, it's Stormy Daniels. CNN is just going to have to change their name to the Stormy Daniels story. They couldn't, they spent a year on the Trump collusion. Still hadn't found any. Zero. So now it's Stormy Daniels 24/7, 365. Here's Colbert with his super analysis of the Stormy Daniels story.
Hey, there's more news on the Stormy Daniels front and the rest of her. The president has a brilliant new defense. He's telling people that Stormy Daniels isn't his type. What? She's a buxom blonde. She couldn't be more his type if she was a fish fillet wrapped in a 100-ruble bill. And what kind of defense? What kind of defense is that? What kind of defense is that? I would never cheat on my wife with her.
I don't know why I even play him. All right, let's look at this day in history right quick. By the way, coming up next hour, Ken Burns will be here. He, of course, is a current Aberdeen councilman and or commissioner. I don't forget what they call it in Aberdeen, but either way, he sits on the town board. And he's also running now for the North Carolina State House, District 52, and that seat currently held by Jamie Bowles. So we'll find out what Ken's ideas and philosophies are, and John Zumwalt will be in here also to help pull it out of him this morning. All right, this day in history. It's been the 28th day of March all day long. 58 years ago in 1960, two anti-payola bills were introduced in Congress, blaming payola for the way music got played on the radio. In other words, every radio station now, you have to sign a payola agreement that you will not take money in order to play a song or do a favor or whatever it is. Otherwise, we it would be profitable to be on the air. You know, hey, record company, you want your song played or not here? What's my bids this hour? Let's see, anything else? 76, Guinness began their first North American tour. Since Peter Gabriel quit, Phil Collins stepped up. That should be Genesis. Phil Collins stepped up as their new lead singer. 77, Rocky, written by and starring Sylvester Stallone, won Best Picture at the Oscars. It beat Taxi Driver. Really? Birthdays today. Let's see who we got here. Reba McEntire, 63 today. Country singer Rodney Atkins, 49. And Julia Stiles, 37. Lady Gaga is 32. Things we need to know so we don't sound stupid today. We never want to sound that way. Let's see. A new study claims that obesity kills off taste buds. I think when you get to that point, it's probably killing you too. Add another to the list. Southeastern Grocers, owner of Bilo and Winn-Dixie supermarket chains, filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy yesterday. Another study says the happiest teens use their phones and digital media less than 1 hour a day. The rumor in D.C. is that Paul Ryan will resign as Speaker of the House in the next 30 to 60 days. The CDC is warning that a second wave of flu virus is probably coming, so don't slow down on your hand washing. In South Carolina, a clown is running for Congress. Steve Loff is a former clown for Ringling Brothers. It used to be that you were supposed to exercise for at least 10 minutes to have any health benefits. Now, new research from the National Cancer Institute and the National Institute for Health says that anything you do has health benefits, any form of exercise. The Associated Press obtained Prince's autopsy report on Monday. It showed that he had an extremely, quote, extremely high concentration of fentanyl in his body when he died. This is why you never want to ever try heroin, because guess what it's cut with? Fentanyl to give it more kick. I mean, you got some drug dealer. He's not measuring that stuff, folks. He's just sprinkling it in. He doesn't care whether you live or die. He just cares about you bringing him money. Former New York Giants linebacker, Montana State star Corey Widmer has declined his nomination to the Montana Football Hall of Fame, saying sports destroyed his life. YouTube is planning a Karate Kid series that follows the characters of 34 years later. And how low can you go? A New York woman was arrested over the weekend, along with a man from Florida, for stealing mementos, including teddy bears, plaques, and pinwheels, from a memorial site honoring those killed at the Parkland Massacre. Netflix is renewing Queer Eye for the second season. Dolores Taylor, who co-stars with her husband Tom Laughlin in Billy Jack's series of films, has died in Southern California at the age of 85. For you betting people out there, Vegas has Tiger Woods as the 9-1 favorite to win the Masters. And the Chinese space station that's coming down is expected to re-enter the atmosphere within the next 2 weeks. And so far, Oregon seems the likely place for it to arrive. Today's impossible question, a survey out reveals that around 42% of men spend some time here every day. Where is here? And if you guessed their man cave, you would be right. All right, currently here in the Sandhills, we're looking at winds from the southwest today, visibility 10 statute miles, pressure 3015, dew point 45, Humidity 96 is partly cloudy and 46 degrees. Your news, sports, and weather all starts now.
We'll see skies that vary between partly and at times mostly cloudy today. It'll be rather breezy from the southwest, and that'll leave us much warmer than the last few days. We'll reach highs around 70 to 70.
Hello, I'm John Zumwalt, and you're in the Zumwalt Zone. Warning, the following deals with an actual event, one that happened to me. If you feel at any time that you're getting dizzy or upset, please turn down the volume and contact your local crisis center immediately. About 10 years ago, I was in a hotel room in Albuquerque, New Mexico. It was 2 o'clock in the morning. I had to get up and go to the bathroom. Little did I know what I was about to see. The room was nice and actually had a separate bedroom, living area, and bathroom. I'd left the bedroom and turned left to enter the bathroom. There was a small nightlight which gave me plenty of light in my unfamiliar surroundings. As I turned to enter the bathroom, I saw a man in the room. He was a little over 6 feet tall and weighed about 230 pounds. He was pretty grim looking, and I instinctively knew this guy was going to be trouble. The first thing I did was try to keep myself from dying from a heart attack. But instantly I realized I would not have to worry about too much with this guy because the guy was me in a full-length mirror. And here's the part where you may need to turn down the volume and call for counseling. I was in my underwear. Try not to let that register. In fact, that's what tipped me off in the first place. I thought, now who wears Popeye underoos at that guy's age? This particular story has nothing to do with politics. It's just a story about an embarrassing event that happened to me in the Zumwalt Zone.
In addition to the special counsel's Russia probe, the president also faces legal action from women alleging extramarital affairs. Greg Clugston, the White House.
Stock futures modestly higher this morning on Wall Street. S&P futures up about 5 points. NASDAQ futures ahead 2. More on these stories at townhall.com.
The Bitcoin bubble has popped, but the fact is, the underlying technology behind Bitcoin and cryptocurrency is the most revolutionary breakthrough since the internet. Do you remember what happened after the internet bubble? Yeah, now it's a multi-trillion-dollar per year industry. This will be no different. And because this bubble has already popped, this is the time to buy low. Investment bankers and wealthy investors are just starting to take this thing seriously, and you should too. A long-term investment in Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, or Ripple could turbocharge your portfolio and change your life. Call Noble Bitcoin to get your free guide to investing in Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies with your IRA and 401k. Just call 800-687-5405 and leave your email on the 24/7 voicemail to get Noble Bitcoin's free guide to investing in Bitcoin with your IRA and 401k. Call 800-687-5405. Leave your name and email on the voicemail and we'll send your report right away. That's 800-687-5405.
Poland will purchase U.S. air defense Patriot missile systems as it seeks to bolster its defenses against a resurgent neighbor.
The deal was signed after almost 3 years of negotiations and much haggling over the cost. At the signing, Defense Minister Mariusz Błaszczak called it a good price. Also there was President Andrzej Duda, who said it was an extraordinary, historic moment, with Poland entering a new world of state-of-the-art weaponry. Much of the country's military equipment dates back to the era when communist Poland was in the Moscow-led Warsaw Pact. The missile system is expected to arrive in 2022 and is the first phase in Poland's efforts to reinforce its air defenses against what it sees as the renewed threat from Russia.
The BBC's Adam Easton in Warsaw. The wife of a tiny Taiwanese human rights activist jailed in China, going to keep fighting for his release. News and analysis at townhall.com. Apple's rolling out a new educational app, and it's giving away extra online storage to teachers and students.
It's all part of an effort by Apple to reclaim some of the ground it's lost in U.S. classrooms. The additional features include an app called Schoolwork. It's designed to help teachers make assignments and monitor their students' progress. Apple also offering teachers and students 200 gigabytes of free storage in its iCloud service. That's so they can access documents, photos, and other digital content from any internet-connected device. Bob Agnew reporting.
The fatal shooting by police of an unarmed black man has Sacramento, California in an uproar. The California Attorney General's office now joining the investigation of the shooting, and that's a move that's being applauded by the Sacramento Police Chief, Daniel Hahn. And once again on Wall Street, S&P futures up 3.5 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Hi, this is Steve Leader Adams. How would you like to treat your office to a free lunch? Well, log on to WEEB990.com and register your office for the Jersey Mike's Sack of Subs. We'll pick a lucky winner each Friday morning, and lunch is on us in Jersey Mike's that day. That's WEEB990.com.
So what makes Jersey Mike's special? It starts with the bread, baked fresh throughout each day. Next, high-quality meats and cheeses, sliced individually for your sandwich. Jersey Mike's. Taste it, and you'll see it really is a sub above. This week, try the number 13, the original Italian, provolone, ham, prosciutto, capicola, salami, and pepperoni.
Great news at Leith Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Aberdeen. The spring sales event is going on now, where Leith makes it easy for you. Lease a new 2018 Jeep Wrangler JK Sport for $299 a month, or lease a new 2018 Ram 1500 Express Quad Cab 4x4 for $339 a month, both with zero due at signing. Leith Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Aberdeen. Easy to get to and easy to deal with. 39-month lease with approved credit. Offer expires 3/31/18.
The Honda Dream Garage Spring event is on at Leith Honda Aberdeen. Leith Honda Aberdeen makes it easy for you with these sign and drive specials. Lease a new 2018 Honda CR-V LX two-wheel drive for $299 a month. Or lease a 2018 Honda Pilot EXL two-wheel drive for $399, both with zero due at signing. Just sign and drive. Leith Honda Aberdeen. Easy to get to and easy to deal with. 48-month lease with approved credit. Offer expires 3/31/18.
It isn't just a meal with KitchenAid. It's your daily dose of inspiration. Spark your culinary ambition with KitchenAid now at Keys Appliance Center and get up to $1,600 by a prepaid rebate card by mail when you purchase select appliances. Explore the savings on cooking, cleaning, and refrigeration. Everything you need to create the perfect kitchen workshop. Visit Keys Appliance Center today for great savings on KitchenAid brand appliances. Offer valid January 3rd through July 18th, 2018. See store for full details and qualified models.
This is Bob Bonville at Griswold Home Care Pinehurst, and this is Linda.
It's so frustrating not to be able to pick up the phone and call somebody that can say, yes, we can help you. It's great to have Griswold Home Care to help you with the things you need. I'll pick up the phone and say, hey, I need help. And Griswold Home Care says, okay, what can I do for you?
Call me, Bob Bonville, at Griswold Home Care Pinehurst, 910-420-2360. That's 910-420-2360. We've been keeping the heart at home since 1982.
NCN News. I'm Mike Rayleigh. Stormy Daniels wants President Trump to be deposed about the $130,000 she received as part of a confidentiality agreement before the 2016 election. A lawyer for the porn actress has gone to court in Los Angeles.
This is Steve Futterman in Los Angeles. Stormy Daniels' attorney Michael Avenatti is asking that President Trump be deposed for up to 2 hours. In documents filed in federal court here in L.A., Avenatti says he is willing to conduct the deposition on any day of the week and any location. He says it is firmly established that a sitting president is not afforded special protection in a civil suit.
Officials are asking parents for help after yet another bomb threat disrupted classes at a Jackson County school. Fairview School was evacuated Tuesday after a threat was discovered. Superintendent Dr. Kim Elliott tells WLOS News in Asheville.
Another bomb threat written on a middle school bathroom wall.
There's backlash brewing over California's pro-immigrant laws from within the state. On Tuesday, the four-person all-Republican Board of Supervisors in Orange County voted to condemn the laws. They also voted to join the Justice Department lawsuit, which contends that California laws are unconstitutional. Supervisor Sean Nelson.
And it puts our law enforcement personnel in a really horrible spot where they've got to take an oath to preserve the Constitution, yet start looking at whether or not they're violating it.
A man was killed on Tuesday afternoon in a crash near Charlotte. The car crashed through a bridge rail and fell 20 feet below onto the embankment of Long Creek. Benjamin Max Jones was driving a 2002 Nissan Altima and died at the scene. One woman died in a head-on crash at the intersection of Shipyard and Independence Boulevard in Wilmington last night. At least 3 other people involved in the crash were taken to the hospital. You're listening to NCN News.
The Carolina Hurricanes Homegrown Series has been celebrating North Carolina music, art, beer, food, and T-shirts all season long, and you and I have only one more opportunity to enjoy it. It's Saturday, March 31st, as the Canes host the Rangers. The final Homegrown Series night will allow you to indulge in a savory fried green tomatoes dish, beer from Apex's Brewprint Brewing Company, and you can take home one of only 200 T-shirts specially designed by Asheville T-Shirt Company. Learn more at hurricanes.com/homegrown.
I'm Patrick Johnson with this week's Undaunted ECU Spotlight. It shines on track and field athlete Courtney Warner from CB Aycock High School. The junior nursing major had a great indoor season, claiming 3 individual event titles, setting records in the 60-meter dash. Warner now owns the time at the Liberty Elite Invitational and tied the school record at the American Athletic Conference Championships. East Carolina celebrates Courtney Warner of Goldsboro and all of our Undaunted student athletes. For the latest on ECU athletics, visit ECUPirates.com.
3 deputies from the Randolph County Sheriff's Office will be a part of the large Easter crowds that mark the beginning of the tourist season at the North Carolina Zoo. Debbie Fawkes is a spokeswoman for the zoo and tells WGHP News.
We have over 800,000 visitors every year that come through our gates. And on really, really busy holidays, like Easter weekend we have coming up, we can see as many as 15,000 visitors come through the gates.
The damage done at an Ohio fertility clinic where a freezer malfunctioned earlier this month is much worse than first thought.
Not 2,000 eggs and embryos affecting 700 patients. University Hospitals now says more than 4,000 eggs and embryos from approximately 950 families were affected.
Right now we do not know whether it's mechanical or human or combination.
Dr. James Liu, head of the hospital system's obstetrics department, says a remote alarm failed to activate.
You can't put a price tag on an embryo or an egg.
Christina Ellis and her husband Mark are suing over their lost embryos, but it's not about the money, she says.
I'm hoping that there's some changes, that this never happens again for any future families.
Vicki Barker, CBS News.
Garner police are looking for a man wearing a gold jumpsuit who ran off after a pursuit on Tuesday afternoon. Walante Jamal Miller Torres was wanted by Raleigh police for a home invasion. He's still on the run. A popular women's magazine loses its standout placement at a popular store.
Walmart has decided Cosmopolitan is too steamy for its checkout lines. The big box store is pulling the women's fashion magazine from coveted positions near the register. The National Center on Sexual Exploitation says it complained because families should not have to be exposed to graphic and degrading material in the process of buying groceries. Walmart will still offer Cosmo in its magazine aisle. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
Mike Rayleigh, NCN News.
High pressure settling into our southeast today. It'll leave us with a breezy southwest wind that'll warm us up a good bit compared to recent days. We'll have a mixture of clouds and sunshine. Our highs later today around 70 to 75. Tonight will be partly cloudy. We'll have a light southwest wind that'll leave us mild. Lows in the mid to upper 50s. Then blustery at times on Thursday under partly sunny skies. We'll be warming some more tomorrow. Highs will reach about 78 to 83 degrees. I'm meteorologist Mike Moss in the Weather Center.
Right now here in the Sand Hills, sunny at 47 degrees, humidity 93%, dew point 45, pressure 3018, wind southwest at 3, visibility is at 9 statute miles. Good morning, it's 8:12. Let's take a look at the Sand Hills news for this Wednesday morning. Pilot reporting that the Pinehurst Village Council gave its blessing Tuesday to a study that calls for a number of, quote, unquote, improvements, as well as speed limit reduction on the scenic and historic Midland Road. The Midland Road Corridor Study, which was presented to the council at its March 13th meeting, proposed closing 61 median crossings, creating 10 full movement intersections, which require more tree removal for sight lines, restricting turns at 4 directional crossovers, more trees removed for that, and adding a roundabout at NC 22 and Airport Road. That project has already been funded. Some residents have raised concerns about the number of longleaf pines that will be butchered during this altercation, but the discussion is now closed as far as Pinehurst is concerned. The final version of the plan says 110 trees would have to be removed, mostly along a portion in southern Pines. Members of the board that regulates development within the Pinehurst Historic District say more public education is needed on a variety of changes that are being considered. The pilot reporting that the village's Historic Preservation Commission held a joint meeting last week with the village council to hear the input on 2 issues, splitting the historic district into 3 smaller districts and revising guidelines for construction and renovation projects done in those districts. A number of residents who turned out for that meeting expressed skepticism at the changes. During a follow-up meeting last Thursday afternoon, some HPC members said there's a greater urgency to implementing the guidelines and splitting the districts. Those changes all require final approval of the village council. And a Robbins man was arrested on multiple drug charges. John Eric Martin, 54, from the 300 block of Scalybark Road, was arrested on 15 related charges, including trafficking methamphetamines. Martin was taken to the detention center and charged at 1:50 Tuesday morning. He was placed under a $275,000 secured bond. That's your latest Sand Hills News this morning, but stand by. Here comes your latest in sports. Right here on Talk 97.3 FM and 990 AM WEEB. It is 8:16.
NCN Sports, I'm Josh Zach. Football season? Well, not really. World football season. Tim Way made his U.S. debut. Bobby Wood scored on a penalty kick, and the Americans beat Paraguay 1-0 last night in an exhibition match before a crowd of more than 9,800 at Wake Med Soccer Park in Cary. U.S. midfielder Will Trapp said he liked the North Carolina venue.
The feeling on the field as a player was wonderful, and to second that, the field itself was fantastic. So we were spoiled here tonight. Such a pro-USA crowd, and you want to play in front of that.
Duke Associate Head Coach Jeff Capel is taking over at Pitt. Capel spent the last 7 seasons at Duke. Previously, he served as head coach at Virginia Commonwealth and Oklahoma. He took both those schools to the NCAA tournament. David Glenn of the ACC Sports Journal tells NCN Sports what may have led to Capel making the jump.
Does he want 4 or 5 more years in his current associate head coach, right-hand man recruiter role? Or does he not want to wait that long to be a head coach again?
With the departure of Capel, Duke announced its promoted assistants Nate James and John Shayer to associate head coaching slots. Both James and Shayer were team captains as players and part of national championship teams. Kay said in a statement last night, they clearly understand Duke and our culture. On the ice last night, the New Jersey Devils snapped Carolina's 3-game win streak while extending their own win streak to 3 in a 4-3 victory over the Canes in East Rutherford. Virginia Tech's women's lacrosse coach has apologized after a video surfaced showing white team members singing a song by Lil Dicky that prominently features a racial slur. The video posted on social media after the Hokies' victory at Elon shows team members repeatedly repeating an epithet, which is part of the lyrics of the song Freaky Friday. This is NCN Sports.
The Powerade State Games of North Carolina are coming this June to the Piedmont Triad. Registration is open for athletes of all ages and skill levels in 24 different sports. The Powerade State Games feature 13,000 athletes in 700 teams. Don't miss out on the largest sports festival of the year. Visit PoweradeStateGames.org today. The Powerade State Games are brought to you by BB&T, Blue Cross and Blue Shield of North Carolina, and Lowe's Foods. For more information, visit PoweradeStateGames.org.
The North Carolina Wine and Beer Festival presented by Food Lion is coming to the farm on Saturday, April 7th. Sponsored by Hennett Vineyards and Bedlam Vodka. Sample over 100 different North Carolina craft beverages, including Childress Vineyards, Double Barley Brewing, Fish Hippie, Hennett Vineyards, Duplin, Raleigh Brewing, Bull City Cider Works, and more. Live music all day, including Nashville's soulful Raylan Baxter. Enjoy a VIP experience, including pairings by the award-winning restaurant Chef and the Farmer and Bedlam Vodka. Go to ncwineandbeerfestival.com.
While Jeff Capel is leaving Duke for Pitt, Tubby Smith was introduced yesterday as the new basketball coach at High Point, where he was a player from 1969 to 1973.
It's going to energize and reinvigorate me. You know, and I've been in coaching now for 45 years, and so, but I feel like I'm just getting started.
The 66-year-old Smith was fired from Memphis after this past season. Mark Prosser, the son of late Wake Forest head coach Skip Prosser, is the new head coach at Western Carolina, where he says he's confident he can win with the Catamounts.
If you're willing to invest the time and believe in a system, and we're going to believe very strongly in what we're going to do, you know, if you're willing to put that hard work in, I do think that day is coming. That day is coming quickly, and I'm certainly excited for that.
Prosser helped Bucknell, Wofford, and Winthrop to the NCAA tournament appearances during his tenure at each school. Josh Zach, NCN Sports.
Aberdeen Prescription Shop is one of the best independent pharmacies. Despite the chain stores, customers prefer Aberdeen Prescription Shop for its personal service, drive-through window, and free delivery. All major insurance is accepted, including TRICARE. Order your prescriptions online at AberdeenRxShop.com or call 944-1313, 944-1313, or visit the Town and Country Shopping Center on US 1. Aberdeen Prescription Shop.
Just what the doctor ordered. Building a new home or thinking about changing your existing flooring? Shop and save today at Aberdeen Carpet. Aberdeen Carpet has the largest selection in the area for all your flooring needs. Hardwood, carpet, laminate, ceramic tile, and the newest trend of easy-to-install luxury vinyl plank flooring. Hurry while the selection is best. Guaranteed installation, free estimates, and financing is available. Aberdeen Carpet on Highway 5 in Aberdeen near Habitat for Humanity. Open Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, Saturday, 9 to 4. Call 944-6204 or visit aberdeencarpet.com.
Hey, it's Keith again from Sweet Dreams Mattresses and More in Southern Pines, inviting you to come in today during the Sweet Dreams Tempur-Pedic floor model closeout. Save up to an incredible 50% off on select Tempur-Pedic floor models while supplies last. At these prices, the selection will not last long. So hurry in and save up to half off on select Tempur-Pedic floor models. Sleep is power with Tempur-Pedic. We will even donate your old mattress to a local family in need at the locally owned Sweet Dreams Mattresses and More across from Goodwill in Southern Pines. 910-246-2233. Better sleep, sweeter dreams.
When I opened my business, I knew I needed insurance. How much, what kind, where to buy? No idea. A friend told me to call FCIG, First Casualty Insurance Group, Southern Pines. My FCIG rep told me what I needed, and she showed me how to save on my home and car insurance, too. I was really surprised to find out that they represent over 3 dozen companies. Wow.
Time to call FCIG, First Casualty Insurance Group, Southern Pines. 910-692-8303. 910-692-8303.
Well, there it is again. One of the big box pharmacy stores swallowing up yet another big box pharmacy. Now, you've heard me talk about supporting the mom and pops, but next time you're in one of those big chain stores and you see the endless lines of cash registers but wonder why there's only one register open, and you've been waiting a long time to save 3 cents on that one item but get gouged on another, then just think of all that money they're making for that shareholder in another state by cutting staff to the bone. At Health Innovation Pharmacy, all of our registers are staffed for your convenience. Health Innovation Pharmacy on Pinehurst Avenue in Southern Pines. Locally owned and serving Moore County since 2001.
Great news. Get into an available Ram, Jeep, Chrysler, or Dodge at Invoice Less All Rebates. Only at Leith Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Aberdeen. During the spring sales event, a new 2018 vehicle is available at Invoice Less All Rebates. Just ask. Visit Leith today, where customers are always number one. We're easy to get to, easy to deal with, and the home of available Invoice Less All Rebates. Leith Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Aberdeen. Tax tag and $598 administrative documentary fee additional.
The Honda Dream Garage Spring event is on at Leith Honda Aberdeen. Leith Honda Aberdeen makes it easy for you with these sign and drive specials. Lease a new 2018 Honda CR-V LX two-wheel drive for $299 a month. Or lease a 2018 Honda Pilot EXL two-wheel drive for $399, both with zero do-it signing. Just sign and drive. Leith Honda Aberdeen. Easy to get to and easy to deal with. 48-month lease with approved credit. Offer expires 3/31/18.
I'm an official sounding scientist, and I'm here for a comfort experiment. We're going to recreate the way your home heating system works in your car. Crank up your heat. Blast it at your face. Starting to break a sweat? This is central heating. A Mitsubishi Electric Zone comfort solution with hyperheating allows you to get just the right amount of heat exactly where you need it. Fast. No cold drafts. It's comfort made personal. This concludes our little comfort experiment.
Four Seasons Heating and Air, the company that wants you to get comfortable with them. 235-0606.
Hello, I'm John Zumwalt, and you're in the Zumwalt Zone. Warning, the following deals with an actual event, one that happened to me. If you feel at any time that you're getting dizzy or upset, please turn down the volume and contact your local crisis center immediately. About 10 years ago, I was in a hotel room in Albuquerque, New Mexico. It was 2 o'clock in the morning. I had to get up and go to the bathroom. Little did I know what I was about to see. The room was nice and actually had a separate bedroom, living area, and bathroom. I'd left the bedroom and turned left to enter the bathroom. There was a small nightlight which gave me plenty of light in my unfamiliar surroundings. As I turned to enter the bathroom, I saw a man in the room. He was a little over 6 feet tall and weighed about 230 pounds. He was pretty grim looking, and I instinctively knew this guy was going to be trouble. The first thing I did was try to keep myself from dying from a heart attack, but instantly I realized I would not have to worry about too much with this guy because the guy was me in a full-length mirror. And here's the part where you may need to turn down the volume and call for counseling. I was in my underwear. Try not to let that register. In fact, that's what tipped me off in the first place. I thought, now who wears Popeye underoos at that guy's age? This particular story has nothing to do with politics. It's just a story about an embarrassing event that happened to me in the Zumwalt Zone.
We'll see skies that vary between partly and at times mostly cloudy today. It'll be rather breezy from the southwest, and that'll leave us much warmer than the last few days. We'll reach highs around 70 to 75 later this afternoon. Tonight will be partly cloudy and mild. We'll have a light southwest wind or lows in the mid to upper 50s. Then partly sunny for Thursday, blustery at times tomorrow, and even warmer, highs about 78 to 83. May see a few showers or storms on Friday. I'm meteorologist Mike Moss in the Weather Center.
And now, the Sandhills number one morning show. Mornings with the LeaderMan. Here on Talk 97.3 FM and 990 AM WEB. And heard and seen around the world at talk973.com.
The best part of waking up is waking up with us.
The following radio show is currently airing at the time this is being heard.
I have to be honest.
Guess what day it is?
Can I hump your leg for 15 uninterrupted seconds?
Begin the radio show.
Good morning, Talk 97.3 FM and 990 AM WEEB. Welcome back to the most listened to program in all of the Sandhills. It is Mornings with the LeaderMan. I am Steve Leader Adams, and don't forget, of course, this program is being seen around the world on our live video stream. That's available at talk973.com. Top middle of the page is the link. One tap of that will get you there. If you're on a mobile device, you can get it with your YouTube app. Put Mornings with the LeaderMan into the search. LeaderMan, all one word. If you just need our audio, we suggest tune in iTunes. Many other players will play it. Just put WEEB into the search. And if you're on our website at talk973.com, that icon in the upper right-hand corner of every page that says Listen Live, just click on that and you're listening that quick. Weather for us today here in the Sandhills area, look for Monday with a high of 83. Tomorrow night, it's sunny and 47 degrees currently here at Talk 97.3 FM and 990 AM WEEB. And in the studio with me this morning, Ken Bird, who is running for the State House, District 52. That seat currently held by Jamie Bowles. And Jamie has had an invitation to come here and speak if he wants to. But Ken has taken us up on that invitation, and John Zumwalt also joins us this morning. John?
Well, thank you. Ken, thank you for coming in. I want to ask you the same thing that I ask all the candidates that we have on here, and that is to respectfully ask you to keep your answers relatively short, because people really do need to know as much about you as they can. That way we can cover more territory. So let me start with just asking you to briefly tell us a little bit about yourself.
Thanks, John. Retired military, 30 years in the Air Force. Have been serving here in the local area on the town of Aberdeen's planning board, and then a couple of years ago was elected to the commissioner of town. Have basically spent my life protecting America, and now I'm trying to spend my life serving America.
Okay. Well, you retired from the Air Force as a colonel, and for those of you who don't know a lot about the military, that's just one below a general. A general would be the next step. You're used to being able to tell people things and having it done. You're not going to be in that position when you get to Raleigh. You're going to have to work to get things done. How are you going to be able to do that? Are you going to be able to handle working with people as opposed to just telling them what you want?
Certainly. Spent the last 15 years running a consulting business, working in the Homeland Security area since I retired from the Air Force. Learned a long time ago that it's not all military organizations. You've got to learn how to work with people. You got to learn how to ask people to do things, and you've got to listen to the people to be able to be effective.
All right, Ken, let me get this one out of the way. I and a lot of other folks are so burned out on people going to Raleigh or going to D.C., making all the grand promises and all the speeches, telling us everything that we want to hear, and the minute they walk in the door, it's like someone ripped their spine out and replaced it with a remote control. We're really, really leery of this. How do we know that you won't do that exact same thing to us?
Well, the first off is I have told everybody that I'm talking to that I will have a servant's heart as I'm working for the people of Raleigh or Moore County. When I get to Raleigh, I'm not interested in party politics. I'm not interested in the system. I'm interested in serving the people of Moore County, and I will be accountable to the people of Moore County.
Well, how do you, that sounds good, but how do you plan to do that? How do you plan to stay in touch with what we need in Moore County? And part two of that question is, when you do get in office, if you do get in office, will you come back here and talk to us on the radio and let us hold you accountable? So it's two-part questions. How do you plan to stay in touch with the people, and will you come back here and let us hold you accountable?
I will come back. First off, I'm not moving to Raleigh. I'm staying right here in Aberdeen, which is my wife's home. I will attend town meetings. I will go to board meetings. I will go to the county commissioner meetings. Every opportunity I have when I'm here in the county, not in session, I will be attending meetings or be available to people. And yes, I will come back to the radio anytime to talk with you all. I count on the people to hold me accountable and to help me correct any mistakes that I'm making and let me know. Most of the folks I deal with are not shy about telling me what they want. And I've got no problems with folks, helping me stay on the path.
Let me butt in and ask one question based off of yours. When you get to Raleigh, it's the good old boy club comes up to you and they say, all right, freshman representative, your seat's in the back row back there. You vote like we tell you to vote, and you sit on good committees. You don't vote like you want to be a maverick and not vote like we tell you, then you'll get on all the boring committees. What are you going to say back to that? Because that's what you're going to hear.
Oh, I'm sure it is. I've already been told that in several venues already by some of the establishment. I spent 30 years in the military. I've been in 2 different wars. I've commanded in both peacetime and wartime. I am not afraid of standing up and working for the people and doing what I see needs to be done. I'm not shy, and I have no intentions of sitting on my hands and doing what I'm told. I will work for the people of Moore County.
Well, we're talking with Ken Bird, who is running for the State House, District 52, which includes most of Moore County. Okay, John.
Well, Ken, we all understand that no one can go to Raleigh and just immediately change things. We all get that, but we'd like to see someone who will go up there, and we want to hear his voice. We want to hear him speak out. We want to see him introduce bills. What are your top 3 priorities in this district? The top three priorities that you see for Moore County?
The top 3 is of going around talking to folks. Education is number 1. We have got to fully fund education, period. No further discussion. Fully fund it and make sure that it's effective for our children. That includes taking care of the lottery system. The lottery was set up to pay a minimum of 35% towards the education programs. Today, it's only paying 17% into the education programs. That's got to change. We got to go back to what it was originally intended to do. Jobs. Jobs is number 2. We have got to bring jobs to Moore County. When I look back over the last 10 years of what has or has not happened in this county, I don't see any Fortune 500. I don't see any Fortune 1000. I don't see any big job announcements. We hear it all the time around other areas, other counties of jobs coming in. We need to bring jobs to this county. And infrastructure. In order to bring jobs, we've got to build the infrastructure, gas and electric, that businesses will need and be attractive to them to come into here. I will work with the county commissioners and the county leadership to ensure that, 1, we got the infrastructure we need, 2, that we can work together as a team to bring in the jobs, and more especially, as I said team a minute ago, work as one team. The county leadership and the state representatives and whoever the state senator for this area is going to be, we will work as one team to bring jobs, infrastructure, capabilities back into Moore County to let Moore County do something great. Imagine what we can do if we work as one team for the county.
Well, you mentioned education as your number 1 priority, and that is a huge issue here. And obviously, folks in this county are deeply concerned about the way the state has treated us. But there is a problem. No, let me rephrase that. There's a perception of a problem in that you serve on the board of a charter school. How will that affect you when you advocate for our public school systems?
Well, I do serve on a board for a charter school for the Academy of Moore County. If I'm elected in the primary to go forward, I've already told the group of folks that I've been meeting with that I will resign from the board so that I can remain neutral. I will work for public schools. I'm a product of the public school system. My dad, even though he was military, insisted that my sister and I attend all public schools. I've grown up through it, and I believe in the system. We need to have schools that will educate our kids, that will keep them in the forefront of the programs, and help them become the principled leaders of tomorrow. They're our future, and we've got to make an investment in them.
You know, I've been very outspoken against your opponent. Steve just mentioned that we've invited him on here, and if he comes on, we will, trust me, we'll ask him the same types of questions we're asking you, and we'll do so very respectfully. But I appreciate you coming on, and I appreciate you answering questions. The one thing I want to ask you about is the same thing that I want to ask him about, the tier system. The tier system is killing us in Moore County. What are your thoughts on the tier system? And could you briefly explain it, very briefly, for folks who may not know what we're talking about?
Sure. The tier system started back in 1996. There were 3 tiers. By law, there were 40 counties that are Tier 1, which is the lowest economic social category. There's 40 counties that are Tier 2, and there are 20 counties that are Tier 3. We are one of the Tier 3s. Tier 3 implies that you're wealthy, and you got plenty of money, and you're able to sustain yourself. It is a totally backwards system. We are funding other counties, 80 counties throughout the state. What I have proposed in several of my talks is that the tier system either needs to be scrapped 100% or it needs to be modified. I don't care which. I'll find people that want to work with me to figure out how we can fix it. But at the very least, I threw out at one of my speeches that, fine, we'll give 25% of our tax revenue to the state to do what they need to do to help the tier 2s and tier 1s. Let us keep the rest of it so that we can improve our schools, our infrastructure, and our capabilities to live like normal people. But as it is right now, we're just giving money away, and we are sustaining 80 counties across this state that have no incentive to do anything to get off the tier system. It's free money.
And the perception is that every single person in Moore County is wealthy. And
right.
So a lot of folks listening to this, and they shaking their heads and just holding their breath and saying, this has got to stop. What do you, school safety is a huge thing, and I don't care about the politics of it. The politicians do, I don't. I care about the safety of the children. Have you given that any thought as to how we could address that?
Very much time and thought and effort on that one. I read with interest that the Speaker of the House for North Carolina had called together a nonpartisan committee to talk about school safety. That's wrong. School safety starts at the local level. It is a local issue. Each school is different and unique. There is no cookie cutter solution. There's no one solution that can be applied across the state. What we need to do locally is figure out, through gathering parents, students, and local law enforcement, what is the best for each individual school, figure out a plan, and then send that to Raleigh to be funded. That's the process that ought to take place, not the other way around. We don't need another unfunded mandate coming from the folks in Raleigh. We need to develop our solutions and let them fund it.
Let me remind everybody we're talking with Kim Bird, who is running for the State House, District 52. The seat is currently held by Jamie Bowles.
And speaking of Jamie Bowles, we've never attacked Jamie personally. All our comments have been on the job that he's doing as a representative. I know that you're running against him, and I know that often when we talk about the job that our opponent's doing, they immediately label it as mudslinging. But if he's doing a good job, I take it, you wouldn't be running against him. So can you tell us why we should vote for you and not for Jamie? And I'll ask him the same question when he comes on here.
Yeah, the first reason I would give you is that I will listen and respond to the people. I have had countless number of comments made to me that our people, our citizens, reach out to their representative and they never get a response, either telephonically or by email. I can personally tell you that as a commissioner, I have sent forward emails dealing with issues that the state was going to impose on the towns, and I've been against them and have asked for input. To this day, I've never heard the first thing back. We need somebody in Raleigh that is going to represent the people and not the party, that is going to represent the people and not their personal interests. That's what I want to do.
Was there anything specific to your career that you can point to that should make us believe that you'll be a better representative for us because of a particular experience?
And I've had the opportunity to break glass in many areas. In the Air Force, you're either a pilot or you're all the other folks. I was not a pilot. I was a logistician. I've commanded an air base, which hasn't happened for a non-pilot to command an air base since Korea. I was given the opportunity to go to Bosnia, command the busiest airport, single runway in Europe, and my charge while I was there was make it better for the next people that will come in, take care of your people while they're there, and bring everybody home. And we did that.
Have you had any particular surprises? Let me make that a little more clear. when you don't know a whole lot about politics, and by the way, no matter how this turns out, thank you for running. Thank you for everyone who's running for office. It's a very difficult thing to do. You put yourself out there and you have to answer questions from people like me. But you don't really understand politics until you get involved in it. You don't understand how fun it can be, how wonderful it can be, meeting a lot of people. But you don't understand the dirt either until you get involved in it. Have you had any surprises one way or the other since you started to run?
Well, I enjoy meeting people and talking to them. That's always fun, as you said. It's great to be able to travel around the county, go to different venues. We're starting a series of coffee and conversations across the county in different coffee shops. That's always fun. The part that's been a surprise or has been disappointing to me is the good old boy system that I've heard you talk about on the radio, you and Steve both. It is alive and well in Moore County. And for, quote, an outsider, as I'm not a native of Moore County, I married a girl here, but you know I'm a military boy that found a good thing in the lady that I married and been happy to live here. But the good old boy system is alive and well in Moore County. And I'm not part of that good old boy system, and trying to break in has been very interesting, to say the least.
Can you elaborate a little bit on that as to how you feel like the good old boy system is trying to keep you tamped down versus trying to find the best candidate for the party?
Well, you just said it. Find the best candidate. Naively, I thought when I was approached to run and then started talking to the leadership here in the county about running, and I will tell you, I've talked to everybody from the Republican Party chairman to the chair of the county commissioners to local officials. As I started talking to folks, I would get mixed reactions from the good old boy system, the Republican Party, about I'm challenging their incumbent. I'm challenging him because there's a need. There's a hole there that needs to be fixed. I would have thought that we'd be more interested in who is the best candidate, who's the best American to go forward and serve the people of Moore County, as opposed to who's the staunchest Republican. I'm an American first, make no bones about it. My party happens to be Republican, but I am American first, and I will work for the people of this county to make sure that we get their interests, not somebody else's, taken care of.
Again, we're talking with Ken Bird, who is running for the State House, which District 52, which encompasses most of Moore County. I think it's a little sliver in Harney County, too, isn't it? Or
no, we're all inside Moore County,
okay.
But our county seat is not part. This is the strangest thing when I got the map. Carthage and Deep River and parts of Robbins are not part of our county for the district.
Right, but all the rest is.
Right.
So, and of course, when you're up there, you're going to be working for Moore County as a whole.
Right.
Because when one area prospers, the whole county prospers. But anyway, all right, John.
Can you tell me, Ken, who you might look up to politically as a political role model? It doesn't have to be one person, and it could be anyone in history.
Well, my absolute hero is Ronald Reagan. I watched Ronald Reagan. I've watched his career. I've had the opportunity to meet him, excuse me, during my military career, be around him. What a fantastic man. And he very much was the great communicator. He very much was a people person. He was down to earth and well-rooted. And to look at where he came from, where he started in radio years ago, then went into Hollywood, and then
I don't know if starting in radio is a compliment, but
well, we all got to start someplace. Yeah. And then the governorship in California, and then the presidency. What a great guy, and he took care of the people. That was his agenda.
What about personal role models throughout your life?
Well, my personal role model, like many folks, was my dad. My dad grew up in the Depression era. He was a farm boy down in Texas. As soon as he was 18 years old, he joined the Army Air Corps in those days and began his career. With him and my mom, we got to travel the world. We've seen and been places that most people only get to read about. and it was fantastic. He was very patient with me, sometimes not very patient, but sometimes patient. He taught me to be resilient. He taught me that my word is my bond and that my handshake is a contract. He instilled values into me at an early age that I've been able to reinforce through my career and live up to. I'm very, very pleased to be able to say that he is truly a great American. Unfortunately, he's gone, but it was a learning experience all the way through life.
I can't possibly ask you everything and can't think of everything, but I would like you to tell us a few things about yourself or about your campaign, things you'd like us to know.
Okay. Well, again, I have 3-4 priorities: education, jobs, infrastructure, and working as a team with the leadership here in the county. That has not been happening. As I've talked to past county leaders, both current and past, they have all been emphatic about there's just been a gap. There's been no communications. If we work as one team to try and promote Moore County, it is going to take us to places that we've never been before. There's great leadership right now at the county level. There's great leadership in our towns around through the county. If we all work together to promote Moore County, to promote our citizens, our children, we will be unstoppable. And I'm not trying to say that at the expense of the rest of the state. It's just let's take care of ourselves first and then help our overflow go out to the rest of the state to make it, let's be the shining example that everybody else wants to be like.
So you will represent Moore County, or will you, your district, or will you represent North Carolina?
I will represent Moore County first and foremost.
Okay, good. You mentioned jobs as being your number 2 priority. Can you tell us a little bit more? It sounds really good that you'll bring more jobs here and work on the infrastructure, but how will you do this?
Well, the first thing I think we need, John, is a plan. Excuse me. I don't see that we have sat down and mapped out within the county where do we have industrial parks. By the way, there's only one site left in this county. What can we do to entice business to come here? It's nice to say that we want the next Toyota plant, or we want IBM to come here, or whatever. Pick any industry you want. But if you don't have the infrastructure laid out for them to come in and fall on, they're not coming. If they have to wait for years for you to build something, they're not coming. We need to work together to figure out what is feasible, what can we do from the education standpoint over at the community college, how can we prepare folks to work in the industries that we want to bring in here, and then put it all together on a plan and work the plan. But right now, we're very disparate. We tend to have individual pockets of people doing stuff, and we're not working as one team. That's what we need, is one team.
I'm guessing that if Pat Corso from Partners in Progress is listening, he's saying to himself and to anyone around him, who does this guy think he is? I've been doing this for years, and he thinks he's going to come in here and make a difference. So just very briefly, can you address that, and just in case he's listening?
Sure. I know Pat Corso. His son is a Citadel graduate also, as am I. Pat and I are friends. I would like to work with Pat to find the businesses that we can bring in here. Again, I look over the last 10-plus years, and I just don't see large industry or large businesses coming in here. In the town of Aberdeen, we've looked at the Gulliston plant, trying to figure out how we could bring in another, quote, textile or textile-like company. That's not going to happen. Those jobs are gone. That industry is gone. I was with Burlington Industries for 8.5 years. Those jobs have gone offshore now. We need to find the industry that does want to come here. But again, in order to attract them, we've got to have the infrastructure. We need to have some business parks that folks can fall in on and be ready to go day one, not year 3, year 4 down the road. They'll come. If we build it, they will come. If we don't, it isn't going to happen.
Well, Ken, you've got some really good ideas, but so do a lot of other people. And the truth of the matter is, and I think you'll agree with this, you're not going to do anything unless you get elected.
Correct.
And that I believe that the number one shortcoming of every politician is this: people just do not trust politicians. And I will give you this. I will not call you a politician. Michelle Lexo made a point that she's a citizen statesman, I think she said. And I like that, because that's the citizens are the people who are supposed to rise up and support us and be our leaders. But how can you say anything at all that will cause all the cynics like me to trust you? Why should we trust you?
Well, first and foremost, you're right. I'm not a politician. I'm a citizen that has decided it's time for me to pay back for everything that I've had the pleasure of enjoying over the years. I want to work for the people. Oh, by the way, I'm not interested in a long-term career in politics. I firmly believe in term limits. I firmly believe that if I go up to Raleigh, I'll go for a few years and then come home. We need to see a continuous circulation of new blood going into politics, not the guys that want to go in there and stay for 30 or 40 years. They don't bring new ideas.
Do you feel like things are broken and you've got this desire to go in and try to fix it?
Well, yes. Basically, I think our system is broken. There's a lot of folks that have forgotten that government is of the people, by the people, and for the people. A lot of our politicians have said, once I'm elected, it's all about me. That's not the way it's supposed to be. And we need to have folks in Raleigh and in D.C., but in Raleigh that are going to represent us and our interests, not that of big business.
All right, Ken, we're about to close out. I want to say thank you for coming on. It's been a pleasure. I also want to assure you that if you go to Raleigh and you don't do what you say you're going to do, I'm going to be right up your spine just like I have been up Jamie's. Now,
please,
can you close by telling us how people can contact you if they want to donate money or if they want to host a coffee or just talk to you and ask you questions? Can you give us that information?
Sure. We've got a Facebook page. Facebook is Ken Bird District 52.
Spell Bird for them.
B-Y-R-D, not B-I, B-Y. We also have, my phone rings 24/7. A lot of folks know that I answer the phone well into the night.
What's that number?
The number is 910-992-9416.
Do me a favor. One more time, phone number.
910-992-9416.
I hope everyone wrote it down, and I hope you'll call him if you have questions. Thank you.
What's the biggest surprise, Ken? Because we got about a minute here or so. What's the biggest surprise that after you got into this campaign that you didn't see coming?
Probably like everybody else, cost. It takes money to run for office. I understand why more and more people don't run, because it does take money. I'm basically self-funding my campaign right now. We'll accept all donations that want to come our way, but we're self-funding right now. My treasurer just looks at me and shakes his head because I keep spending money to make sure we get the word out there.
Right.
But it costs money to run for office.
So one of the things you probably are running into, and I got 45 seconds, is you run into a lot of organizations that just says, we don't do politics. So how do you get your message out there?
Well, I'm bullheaded and bulldog determination. You know, I keep talking to folks. I keep sending stuff out. We'll have mailers coming out. We've got billboards that will be going up later in the month. Our signs are out right now. You know, we got the Facebook page. I've got a couple of young ladies that are experts at taking care of Facebook for us. And I got to tell you, we're getting a lot of suggestions on the Facebook page for come here, go there. The coffees are great things. You know, just getting out and talking with people, just being accessible and responsive to the people. That's what it takes.
All right. Well, Ken Bird, running for District 52, good luck to you and for the rest of you. So it goes for this Wednesday. Have yourself a great, safe day. We'll see you back bright and early tomorrow, 7 to 9 for a Thumping Thursday. Until then, be sure to support all the mom and pop businesses you hear on our airways because they are the backbone of our economy here in Moore County. Your money stays here, rolls over, and creates jobs. And don't forget, millions of Americans have fought and they have died to give and protect the freedoms that you get to enjoy today. So live today worthy of their and their family's sacrifice. I'm Steve Leader Adams and the Leader Man. And Nick and Colt the dog will all see you at 2 o'clock this afternoon at the Sunny Dog Park.